Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Murray Hill 40098 now for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy, but I don't see how it could be busy that long. Will you try for me, please?
Murray Hill 40098. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all the time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight and I'm all alone here in my house. My health is very poor, and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, George?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Who is this? What number am I calling, please?
We have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Where are you now?
In a phone booth.
Oh, who is this?
Okay, you know the address, and at 11 o'clock the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Be sure that all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible for the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and should scream.
Oh, hello. What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand.
Make it quick, as little blood as possible. Our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
A knife, okay, sir.
Yes, a knife will be okay. And remember, remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes it to look like simple robbery.
Okay, I get.
How unspeakably.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry, madam. What number we're calling?
Why, it was supposed to be Murray Hill 40098, but it wasn't. Some wires must have crossed. I was calling to a wrong number, and I've just heard the most dreadful thing, a murder, and... Operator, you simply have to restrict that call at once.
I beg your pardon, madam. I don't quite.
Oh, I know it was a wrong number, and I had no business listening. But these two men, they were cold-blooded friends. Some poor innocent woman who was all alone in house near a bridge, and we gotta stop and we got...
What number we're calling, madam?
That doesn't matter. That was a wrong number, and you dialed it, and we've gotta find out who was it immediately.
But, madam...
Oh, why are you so stupid? Look, it was obvious a case of some little slip of a finger. I told you to dial Murray Hill 40098 for me. You dialed it, but your finger must have slipped and I was connected with some other number and I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. Now, I simply failed to see why you couldn't make that same mistake again. On purpose. Why you can't try to dial Murray Hill 4009 in the same careless sort of way.
Murray Hill 40098. I will try to get
Thank
it for
you.
you, madam. I am sorry. Murray Hill 40098 is busy.
Operator? Operator!
Yes, madam.
You didn't try to get the wrong number at all. I asked explicitly, and now you did was dial correctly.
I am sorry. What number we're calling?
Can't you for once forget why I was calling and do something specific? Now I want to trace that call. It's my civic duty. It's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killers. And if you want, I will
connect you to the chief operator.
Please.
This is the chief operator.
Chief operator, I want you to trace a telephone call immediately. I don't know where it came from or who was making it, but it's obviously necessary that it can be tracked down because it was a murder. Yes, a terrible cold-blooded murder of a poor innocent woman. Tonight at 11:15.
I see.
Can you trace it for me? Can you track those men?
It depends, madam.
Depends on what?
It depends on whether the call is still going on. If it's a late call, we can trace it on the equipment. If it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected?
If the parties stop talking to each other.
Oh, but But of course, they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't sound like the type who would make a long call.
Well, I can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson. But listen, if you
And your telephone number?
Plaza 42295. But if you gone and wasting all this time, I will.
And what is your reason for wanting this call traced?
My reason? Oh, for heaven's sake, isn't it obvious? I overheard two men, and they're killers. They're planning to murder this woman. It's a matter for the police.
Have you told the police?
No, how could I?
You're making this check into a private call purely as a private individual?
Yes, but meanwhile,
Well, Mrs. Stevenson, I seriously doubt whether we could make this check for you at this time just on your say-so as a private individual. We'd have to have something more official.
oh, for heaven's sake, you mean to tell me I can report a murder without getting tied up on this red tape? What's perfectly idiotic right then? I will crap the police.
Your call, please.
The police department, please.
Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Present 43, Jaffe speaking.
Police department? Oh, this is Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Smythe Stevenson of 53 North Southern Place. I'm calling to report a murder.
Eh?
I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet. I just overheard plans for it over the telephone. Over wrong number that operator gave me. I've been trying to trace on the number myself, but everybody's so stupid. And I guess in the end, you're the only people who could do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was perfectly definite murder. I heard their plans distinctly. Two men were talking and they were going to murder someone woman at 11:15 tonight. She lived in the house near a bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman in the street. He was going around for a beer on 2nd Avenue. And there was some third man, a client who was praying for this poor woman and they will murder her. They were going to take her rings and bracelets and use a knife. Well, it's unnerved me dreadfully and I'm not well and
I see. When was all this, ma'am?
about 8 minutes ago. Oh, then you can do something. Do you understand that
And what is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Smythe Stevenson.
And your address?
53 North Southern Place. That's near a bridge. The Queensboro Bridge. You know, we have a private patrolman on our street and the 2nd Avenue.
And what was that number you were calling?
Murray Hill 40098, but that wasn't the number I overheard. I mean, Murray Hill 4009 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight and I was trying to reach him to ask to come home. I am an invalid, you know, and it's a maid's night off and I hate to be alone, even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, and see if we can check it with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they couldn't check the call if the parties had stopped talking. I've taken care of that.
Oh, yes?
Personally, I feel you ought to do something far from immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good does checking the call if they stop talking? By the time you track it down, they already have committed the murder.
Well, we'll take care of it, lady. Don't worry.
I say the whole thing call for a search. A complete and thorough search in the whole city. I'm very near a bridge and I'm not far from 2nd Avenue. And now, I know I'd feel a whole lot better if you send a radio car on this neighborhood at once.
And what makes you think that murder's going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Oh, I don't know. The coincidence is so terrible. 2nd Avenue, and the patrolman, and the bridge.
2nd Avenue is a long street, ma'am. And do you happen to know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx. And how do you know there isn't some little house out on Staten Island, on some little 2nd Avenue you've never heard about? How do you know they were even talking about New York at all?
But here the call on New York dial system.
How do you know it wasn't a long-distance call you overheard? Telephones are funny things. Look, lady, why don't you look at this way? Supposing you hadn't broken in on that telephone call. Supposing you got your husband the way you always do. Would this murder have made any difference to you then?
I suppose not, but it's so inhuman, so cold-blooded.
A lot of murders are committed in this city every day, ma'am. If we could do something to stop him, we would. But a clue of this kind that's so vague isn't much more as used to us than no clue at all.
But surely,
Unless, of course, you have some reason for thinking this call is phony and that someone may be planning to murder you.
me? Oh, no, I hardly think so. I mean, why should anybody? I'm all alone all day and night. I see nobody except my maid, Eloise. She's a big 200-pounder. She's too lazy to bring up my breakfast tray, and the only person is my husband, Albert. He's crazy about me, adores me, waits on me hand and foot. He scarcely left my side since I took sick 12 years ago.
Well, then there's nothing for you to worry about, is there? And now if you'll just leave the rest to us.
But what will you do? It's too late. It's near 11 o'clock.
We'll take care of it, lady.
Will you broadcast it all over the city and send out squads and warn your radio cars to watch out, especially in suspicious neighborhood like mine?
Lady, I said we'll take care of it. Just now, I've got a couple of other matters here on my desk that require my immediate...
Idiot! No, what did I do that? Now I think I'm a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he?
Your call, please.
Operator, for heaven's sake, will you ring that Murray Hill 40098 again? I can't think what's keeping him so long.
Murray Hill 40098. The line is busy. Shall I?
I can't hear it. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. If I only could get out of this bed for a little while. If I could get a breath of fresh air or just lean on the window and see the street. Hello? Albert? Hello? 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 Oh, what's the matter with this phone? Hello? 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 Oh, for heaven's sake, who is this? Hello? Hello?
Your call, please.
Hello, operator? I don't know what's the matter of this telephone tonight, but it's positively driving me crazy. I've never seen such inefficient, miserable service. Now, look, I am an invalid, and I'm very nervous. I'm not supposed to be annoyed, but it's kept much longer.
What seems to be the trouble, madam?
Well, everything's wrong. The whole world could be murdered, for all people care. And now my phone keeps ringing.
Yes, madam.
Ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds or so, and when I pick it up, there's no one there.
I'm sorry, madam. If you will hang up, I will test it for you.
I don't want you to test it for me. I want you to put through that call, whatever it is, at once.
I am afraid that is not possible, madam.
Not possible? And why, may I ask?
The system is automatic, madam. If someone is trying to dial your number, there is no way to check whether the call is coming through the system or not, unless the person who is trying to reach you complains this particular...
Well, all of this stupid complicated. And meanwhile, I've got to sit here in my bed suffering every time the phone rings, imagining everything.
I will try to check it for you, madam.
Check it. That's all anybody can do, all of you stupid, idiotic... Hello? Hello? Stop ringing, do you hear me? Answer me! What do you want? Do you realize you're driving me crazy?
Hello? Is this Plaza 42295?
Yes, this is Plaza 42295.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here to Mrs. Albert Stevenson. Is there anyone there to receive the message?
I am Mrs. Stevenson.
The telegram is is as follows. Mrs. Albert Stevenson, 53 North Sutton Place, New York, New York. Darling, terribly sorry. Tried to get you for last hour, but line busy. Leaving for Boston 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business. Back tomorrow afternoon. Keep happy. Love, signed Albert.
Oh no.
That is all, madam. Do you wish us to deliver a copy for a message?
No, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. No, this isn't true. He couldn't do it. Not now, not when he know. No, it isn't true. He couldn't do it now when he knows he'll be all alone. It's some trick, some fiendish.
Your call, please.
Operator, try that Murray Hill 4098 number for me just one more, please.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
He's gone. Oh, Albert, how could you? How could you? But I can't be alone tonight. If I can't, I'm all alone. But I can't be alone tonight. I can't. If I'm alone one more second, I don't care what he says or what the expense is. I'm a sick woman. I'm entitled.
This is information.
I want the telephone number of Hanchley Hospital.
Huntley Hospital. Do you have the address, madam?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s though. It's a very small, private and exclusive hospital with high appendix 2 years ago. Hanchley, Henc.
One moment, please.
Please hurry, and please, what is the time?
I don't know, madam. You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 71212.
Oh, for heaven's sake, couldn't you?
The number of Hensley Hospital is Butterfield 70105. Madam.
Butterfield 70105.
Hanchley Hospital. Good evening.
Nurses Registry.
Who was it you wish to speak to, please?
I want the nurses registry at all once. I want a trained nurse. I want to hire her immediately for the night.
I see. And what is the nature of the case, madam?
Nerves. I'm very nervous. I need soothing and companionship. My husband is away and I'm very sick.
Have you
and
been recommended to us by any doctor in particular, madam?
No, but I really don't see why all this catechizing is necessary. I want a trained nurse. I want a patient in your hospital 2 years ago, and after that, I do expect money to pay this
We
person.
quite understand that, madam, but registered nurses are very scarce just now, and our superintendent has asked us to send people out only on cases where the physician in charge feels it is absolutely necessary.
Well, it's absolutely necessary. I'm a sick woman. I'm very upset. I'm very alone in this house, and I'm invalid. And tonight, I overheard a telephone conversation that upset me dreadfully about a murder. A poor woman who was going to murder at 11:15 tonight. In fact, if someone doesn't come home at once, I'm afraid I'll go out of my mind.
I see. Well, I'll speak to Miss Phillips as soon as she comes in. And what is your name, madam?
Miss Phillips? And where do you expect her in?
I really don't know, madam. She went out to supper at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock? But it's not 11 yet. Oh, my clock has stopped, though it was running down. What time is it?
Just 14 minutes past 11.
What's that?
What was what, madam?
That click just now in my own telephone. I thought someone had lifted the receiver off the hook of the extension phone downstairs.
I didn't hear it, madam. Now, about this.
But I did. There's someone in the house. Someone downstairs in the kitchen. And they're listening to me right now. I won't pick it up. I won't let them hear me. I'll be quiet and they think. But if I don't call someone now while they're still down there, there'll be no time.
please.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble.
I cannot hear you, madam. Please speak louder.
I don't dare. If there's someone listening, can you hear me now?
Your call, please. What number are you calling, madam?
You've got to hear me. Oh, please. You've got to help me. There's someone in the house. Someone's going to murder me. And you've got to know what to touch with. Oh, there he is. He's put it down. He's put on extension. He's coming. He's coming up the stairs. Give me the police department. Police!
Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Precinct 43, Duffy speaking. Police Department, Duffy speaking.
Sorry, wrong number.